Hello and welcome to another episode of Grange TV. We will be doing this fight companion. Really looking forward to it. I was actually really looking forward to Curtis Blades versus Derek Lewis, but it is what it is. Joining you now from Australia. It's ridiculously hot here, people. Really, really, really hot. Like the cameras could shut off when it gets this hot. In Australia, it was like 43 degrees Celsius in the city centre, and man, it would have been close to 50 degrees out west. So today's not quite as hot. I have no air conditioning here, so it's surprisingly hot. I can see that change in Chile miners on for today. Great, and as a reminder, people as well, we will be rolling over and doing the Tyson versus Jones Jr. I'm having problems getting the stream up. The stream's not up, so we will be waiting awkwardly here for a little while. It's really, I was actually really, I hope they do that fight again. I hope they don't schedule it with somebody else. And it's a shame as well with COVID. Now it's been Blades is out and also Holland is out. And Hermansen, they're talking about Hermansen fighting Vittori, which I think was a fantastic fight and really give an indication of where he's at, where Hermansen is. I'm pretty excited about it. Oh, Hassan, the Bengali bomber. How are you? I don't know how big the companion will be today, but I think we will have a nice and intimate show today. I heard Lewis is going to fight Jairzinho. Man, he might. But I really want to see the fight with I actually wanted to see the Lewis versus Blades fight. But that would be a crazy fight too. That would be an absolutely crazy fight. Hold on, I'm just trying to see if I can get this up now. Hey Fab, is there a dream guest you would want to talk to on the podcast? The problem is if I tell you my dream guests, for instance, they're not necessarily not necessarily people that I always wanted to talk to Burt Watson in depth like that. I really liked him. There's a lot of like university professors, psychologists type of cats that I would like to speak to as well. And I don't know. I like Hermansen. I would like to get Jack Hermansen on. I've tried to get Jack Hermansen on. So if anyone is mates with Jack Hermansen, get him on here. Get on his Instagram. Tell him to get on Grange TV. So for now, yeah, I'd like to get Hermansen on, as not getting into like political and religious figures, but yeah, Hermansen. You heard the coach, boys. Let's start a GoFundMe for Coach Fab Aircon for the studio, mate. Guys, the Eddie Wang Memorial timepiece. Eli's not with us today. He's out fighting fires. And honestly, today in Sydney, in like the outskirts of Sydney and whatnot, you'll be crazy busy. It's just, man, the heat is ridiculous here. I don't know if anyone is from Sydney here, from Australia, and can attest to the level of heat that we get. It's crazy. 43 degrees Celsius in the city center is a lot. Hey Fab, no party. No Fab, no party. We are just the guests. Not even, it's not. This is like an intimate conversation between friends. This is not even a special event anymore. Hey team, when is the Tyson fight on? How many undercard fights left? The Tyson fight, we're going to stay on for it, but it'll be around, their walkout should be at around my 6 o'clock. So it's 2 o'clock for me now, around my 6 o'clock. So it'll be around the end of this fight. Then I'm going to switch over to the Tyson fight, and we'll do the Tyson fight as well for anyone who wants to kick on. No, coach, let's get Paige Van Zandt in there to add more followers. If you know Paige Van Zandt, I'd like to have her on here too. I actually tried to contact them as well, but they weren't having it. So yeah, if anyone knows, get on their page and tell them, get get on this podcast. Coach, I'm from Toronto, 0 degrees right now. Would love to have your temperature right now. See, Hassan Ahmed, I've had this conversation with you as well. 0 degrees is too cold, right? It's cold. But 40, like when you get in the plus 40s, it's very hot, dude. It's very hot. And if you don't have aircon and all that stuff, it's very, 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 very uncomfortable. I personally love the heat, so it's not too bad for me. But it's hard, man. It's like I live right near the beach too, so I've got it pretty good. How about Mark Hunt or Paul Gallen as a guest? I have had Mark Hunt on as a guest. You can look over on the old podcasts and you'll see that we had Mark Hunt as a guest. Paul Gallen, I think I tried to get him on for whatever reason he couldn't do it or whatever. So yeah, my bones have been cold. Laugh out loud. I never knew that was a thing, man. Europe and North American winter, the Canada and all of that. I don't envy you. I don't not interested. Considering a move to Australia, but the heat would be hard. Does a typical house have aircon? Alex Perez, 100% I would have him on as a guest. Hit him up for sure. Considering a move to Australia, but the heat would be hard. Does a typical house have aircon? It does. It does have aircon, but not all houses have aircon. Like if you got a newer type house, you will. But the ones that have like the ducted air conditioning that goes throughout the whole house, nah. Usually, like the older houses have those box ones out at the front. My house doesn't even have that. It's a nice little house, but it's an older house on the coast, and I'm renting here, so we don't have the aircon. But no, I reckon if you wanted to move to Australia, it's a beautiful place. Where are you moving from? Where do you live now? And that is true by Tyson Bradley. The typical house in Sydney is super expensive. Uncle Fab, was your role in preparing fighters in MMA? Genuinely interested if you don't mind answering. Thank you. Well, for a long time, I ran a wrestling club. So my main thing was wrestling. And also, I'm a teacher by trade. And then when I started working with Rob and people like other fighters and other footballers and whatnot, I just do like the same thing when I teach at TAFE. So I say, for example, if you sit down with a student and, you might be having a conversation and you can tell the kid's smart, but then when you put them down to do the actual work, you might have spoken to the kid about something for an hour and then he writes an essay about it and it's terrible. The problem isn't subject content. The problem is English comprehension. And so I don't know if you could call it mentoring or stuff like that. So I'd sit down with them, write out what we needed to do, write out their goals, and start bringing in the correct work. You know what I mean? But mainly from a martial arts perspective was wrestling. So I did mainly wrestling stuff with them and transitioning a lot of the cage defense, like defending on the cage, attacking on the cage, all of that type of stuff, and Olympic freestyle wrestling. What's to say here? As a wrestling coach, what's your approach to defending the guillotine? In MMA or jiu-jitsu? Because I think the biggest thing with that is your head positioning to begin with. A lot of people put their head down. Like if you have your head down, then people are going to guillotine you. If you have good posture and your back straight, even if you double and you pin your body to their torso, they can't guillotine you in that position, But in MMA, a lot of it's got to do with the strikes, man. Because a lot of times when you've seen people getting caught in a guillotine, it can happen when somebody shoots, but it's not often. I'm not saying it doesn't ever happen, please, but it's not often that I'm winning the exchanges over and over and over, and I get caught in the guillotine. That isn't what usually happens. What usually happens is I'm shooting from a position of I'm not inside their I'm not inside where I want to be, like within a hand's distance away to be able to shoot. I'm shooting a little bit further back, and that's already breaking my posture, like making my posture bend at the hip, which makes it a lot easier for them to guillotine. Especially if you're getting banged up, you're getting hurt. That key leaves you a little bit more susceptible for the guillotine. Not so much. It's not a lot of the times that you see someone that's in control of the fight and they're dictating the pace and they get caught in the guillotine. It's not that it doesn't happen, but in MMA in particular, it's how you're setting up your entries with the strikes and how your posture is. They're the big things when you're talking about a guillotine. Just a situation. Coach, planning to move to Auckland when the pandemic is over. Any advice? I don't know. I've only been to Auckland as a guest. I've never lived there. I think Auckland's a fantastic place though, man. I think it's honestly to me, I would live in Auckland. I think it's such a beautiful city, man. It's so close to nature as well. The air in Auckland is completely different. It's got like a bit of a country town feel. And I mean that with all due respect to everyone from Auckland. I actually really like it. I like how nice it is. Yeah, well, there's a good example. Bad man's skill to defend the guillotine, be like Khabib and tire out Dustin's arms. That's what I mean. It's not. He could have, but Khabib is in control. You know, it's hard. He knows what's happening. Dustin's tired. It's not like Dustin banged Khabib up and Khabib was in trouble, dropped his level, and shot a kind of desperate shot and stuck his neck out and got caught in a guillotine. In general, I'm talking about. Again, a portable air conditioner is good for one room, $600 and worth every cent. My room is 22 degrees, Mick from East Lakes. Michael, I will look into that. Thank you for that, honestly. I'll speak to my wife because she makes the decisions on that type of stuff. But yeah, you should watch the Mike Tyson fight to get your views up. We're going to be watching it, man. We're going to be doing the same fight companion thing, but for the Tyson fight now when it comes up, because they said for me that it's going to be 5-6 o'clock. Where are you in the walkouts so we can sync up? Jonathan Pearce is hugging his people, and he's now going to get the Vaseline. He's getting the Vaseline on his left eyebrow, and he's getting the Vaseline on his right eyebrow now. And both guys look in shape. I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you, my friend from. Do I pronounce it correct? Are you from? Sorry, just Ossetian. I can't pronounce that. Where are you from? Put Jake Paul in your title too. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just gonna watch it. I want to do the Tyson and Jones fight. I don't want it to be, and it also depends on who the viewers are. You know, I want to have people. Yeah, that's where I thought it was, and I couldn't say it properly. Do you live in the Caucasus? Like, do you live there now? A height advantage to Jonathan Pearce. I'm pretty pumped, guys. Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. Pronounce T, then I. Ossetia. Okay, thank you. Just Ossetian. Fab, don't sell out and put Jake Paul in your title. Hassan Ahmed. Mate, I can't backstab the Bengali bomber. I just can't. I wouldn't do it to him. And I wouldn't do it to myself. Nah. I don't want people to watch just because they watch Jake Paul, you know? I'm actually looking forward to that fight. You know, I'm actually looking forward to that fight because he and his brother are legit athletes. Like his brother wrestled Division 1 college, made the state titles. But Nate Robinson is a freak of nature, man. Won the slam dunk contest 3 times at like 5'9", 5'10". He was a standout in athletics, football, and basketball in high school, and he would have pretty much been whatever at any stage. I don't know the background with Jake Paul, but please let me know. Okay, guys, the fight's about to start. If you'll excuse me. Loretta. And we're off. There's a glove touch. Pearce is in the southpaw stand. Kamaka's in the conventional stance. He's caught a kick and pushed him up against the cage. Kamaka's very patient, holding the center of the cage. He's looking very strong, very thick, very, very strong boy, he looks to be. Pearce has the height advantage, is standing at 6 feet. Kamaka's holding the center of the cage. Pearce is trying to get outside that lead foot, but Kamaka steps in. He's very, very powerful, throws a right hand, lunging left hand thrown by Pearce, but hits nothing but air. Nice step outside the left foot by Kamaka and throws a straight right down the middle. Pearce has now switched to orthodox. It looks like he's going to throw a calf kick. Yeah, he threw an inside calf kick then. I think he's going to throw it on the outside as well. He looks like he's lunging a little bit and he looks a little bit unsettled. And Kamaka looks the more settled one and the more powerful one, which can mean something bad for Pearce. Calf kick by Kamaka. Pearce answers with a jab. Kamaka with a jab of his own rocks Pearce's head back. Good little feint. So what's happening here? Feint. There's good, nice jab to low kick. They're exchanging shots there. But Kamaka's now throwing little feints where he's changing his level. So he's throwing the feints down. I think he's going to end up catching Pearce with the right hand, guys. That's what I think. He just seems to be doing that quite well, and Pearce is starting to move back a little bit off center. If you watch, Kamaka's coming in just below. So he's coming in and dropping his level a little bit. He's dropping his level and throwing a jab or throwing stuff to the body. There we go. There's the right hand to the head. And then there's a takedown by Kamaka. Pearce is doing quite well. He's doing quite well. He's got all his shields up to stop Kamaka from advancing and from posturing up. So he's holding Kamaka down. He's doing a great job. And he's up. Very good by both guys. Very, very nice. Now they're starting to swing a little bit. I think Kamaka should just stay nice and composed. Pearce is looking more composed now as the fight's progressed. And Kamaka now seems to be swinging a little bit more with a little bit stiffer than what he was a couple of minutes ago. I like Kamaka using that calf kick. There's a jab to the body. Ooh, there's a right hand to the head. There's that right hand to the head that I was saying. I don't know, but Kamaka looks like his punches have slowed down and they lack a bit of the snap. We're 2:30 to go in the first round, guys. Nice calf kick by Kamaka. I think this is going to be the story of the fight. There's going to be the calf kick, the jabs and the feints to the body by Kamaka, and then the right hand over the top. That's what he's going to be searching for. Pearce, on the other hand, is trying to get inside, throw those elbows, but he hasn't quite found what his range. Pearce is looking, both guys kind of slowed down. He's moving. Pearce is like back in orthodox stance. He's gone for a takedown, single leg, attempted a flying knee, nothing there. Calf kick by Pearce. Nice work. I think Pearce is starting to land, to start to get a bit of his range, but I think he's very open to that right hand and he may get caught with it. Pearce is starting to control the center of the octagon. And this is always, I think, something that's very dangerous with shorter, more powerful guys. When they're not dictating the pace and they're not in the middle, it's a single leg by Pearce and a left hook on the break. That's when it starts to get a little bit hard for him. So if we find that Pearce starts to control the center of the octagon, I think there might be a turning of the tide. I don't know who's going to win this, Pearce or Kamaka. I don't know. Nice double leg entry by Pearce. Great work, half guard, but there's no shield from Kamaka. If you ask me now, I think Pearce might win this. He just seems to be a little bit more complete. Now the shields are up. Kamaka seems to be the more powerful one, but I think that's gone a little bit. So he's up in high part tear, but he's got the correct hook in, does Pearce, because that's a harder hook to get. But Kamaka's doing a good job to get him off. He's going to peel him off the fence, but he's using a lot of strength to do so. Nice little uppercut landed by Kamaka. Knee up the middle by Pearce. Left hook on the break by Pearce, and a left straight jab by Kamaka landed on Pearce. I think Pearce starting to find his rhythm, starting to find his range, and Kamaka seems to have slowed down just a tad. 7 seconds to go in the first flying knee attempt by Pearce. Both guys exchange right hands. Neither one is hurt. Right hand to the body, left to the... Great work, guys. Great work. I was really impressed by both guys. Jake Paul belongs to not Division One college. Sorry, from what I'd read, I don't know him. I don't even follow it. It said that he had qualified for a Division One in Ohio. But you guys, if you know more about him, I don't know anything about him really. I just read that, so it's not like I followed his wrestling career. But so he never attended. His brother didn't go to college in Ohio and wrestle Division One. Please let me know about this. I know nothing about this person. Man, I just couldn't say Ossetia properly. I never really come across it how to say it, and I thought, great, I'll ask you how to say it. Ossetia. We're off. He's in the. So they're switching. Yep. Pearce is switched from conventional to orthodox a couple of times. He's looking for that flying knee over and over again. Now they're exchanging body lock by Pearce. He's going to get this takedown. He'll get this takedown. He's going to get, he got it. Very nice work there. Very nice work. Again, Kamaka's gone into a high parterre. This has allowed Pearce to take his back. He's starting to sink the choke in. He's got a hip lock on him as well. So it's going to be very hard for Pearce to just shake him off. This is going to be taxing on both guys. Nice. It's just, wow, what a nice scramble by Kamaka. It was a little bit in desperation, but he came out on top. Pearce seems to have the better jiu-jitsu and the better grappling overall. Kamaka seems to be the stronger guy, but it's starting to wear. He's starting to wear down. His punches are starting to come a little slower, a little bit more laborious. Pearce has thrown another kick. Kamaka throws a 1-2. Big left hook thrown by Pearce. Jab landed by Kamaka. Another left hook by Pearce. They exchange jabs. So Pearce dropped his level, feinted through an uppercut. That's very nice work. Now Pearce is starting to feint. Nice right hand landed by Pearce. Left rip to the body landed by Kamaka. In the clinch now, Pearce has landed another takedown. Kamaka's into half guard. So Kamaka's got the underhook there. That's great work. But Pearce is onto it. He knows that so when he holds a head down or that shoulder down, even if you haven't got the underhook, it allows you to control the person. On that guard pass, he landed a huge left hand on Kamaka, and Kamaka felt that. Now, Kamaka would be in kind of like a low parterre. He's looking for high parterre. He's got the high parterre position, and Pearce has rode him back down. And landed short uppercuts on Kamaka, and I think we're not going to see Kamaka come back in this fight. I do think that Pearce is just going to keep doing this. Nice pickup and slam by Pearce, and I think this is going to be the story of the fight if he doesn't finish Kamaka now. Kamaka has slowed down a lot. Pearce has got his back. He's got both hooks in. He's landing elbows. He's landing little ground and pound, and now he's got the choke, but he's still got his back. I would go for ground and pound here. I'd land a little bit more ground and pound before going for the choke. Now, a right hand there could have been thrown. If you see the Nate versus McGregor fight, when you have someone down and they're flattened out like that and you put one arm in for the choke, if you take the other arm and you give just a little hook over the side, it lets the choke sink in a little deeper and it kind of shocks the guy as well. But here it's going to be hard for Kamaka to get out. There's 2 minutes to go, and I don't think Kamaka has much left in him. He might have one scramble left. Pearce can be patient here. If he had him bellied down, he should just keep him there. Should get on top. Kamaka's going to have one more scramble in him. If Pearce gets up here, it's going to be a lot of trouble for Kamaka. Kamaka's doing a good job. He's got a lot of scramble, a lot of fight in him. But I think that he's gassed out a little bit and slowed down. He has taken Pearce's back, but Pearce got out the back door. Pearce is now in the tie clinch, throws a knee. None of these knees have landed for Pearce flush yet. Another great takedown by Pearce. Kamaka's going for the guillotine, but I don't think he's going to get this. I think he's a little bit gassed. Pearce has got the right shoulder pressure down, so he's not going to get it. Ended up in full mount. That's a conversation we were having earlier, guys, about that. Like, it's hard to finish a guillotine if you're the one that's dictating and winning. I mean, if you're not the one that's dictating and winning. 1 minute to go. I think that Pearce is going to finish this here. I think he can just keep landing this ground and pound from this position. He's got Kamaka belly down and he's landing shots at will. Kamaka cannot intelligently defend himself, but the shots aren't big enough to be stopping him. Now he's got him belly down, his hips are down. I don't think Kamaka's going to be able to get out of this. If I was Pearce, I would keep on hitting him. I wouldn't even go for the choke. What Pearce could do as well here is make sure that he's hitting with the knuckle, like with this part of the fist. It's over. It's done. The ref stepped in and stopped it. Great show of heart by Kamaka as well. Really, really, really impressed. So Pearce gets a win in a very dominant fashion. Yeah, that's another place, man. The Caucasus is a place that's on my to-do list. I want to go to the Caucasus, man. I think that's just an amazing place with so much history. I love combat sports, and I think that's one of the meccas of combat sports, and has been for such a long time. Russia in general, man, they've been like the whole Russian region, ex-Soviet states, all of that have been the mecca of combat sports for such a long time. They were doing MMA and everything long before that. Best wrestlers, best judokas, sambo, boxing, everything. So it's definitely on my to-do list. Jack the Ripper, you're a national treasure, Uncle Fab. So thank you, mate. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. We're going to be here, guys, for the Mike Tyson Jones Jr. fight and the Nate Robinson Jake Paul fight. Tell your friends, people, like and subscribe. Hit the bell button so you get the notifications. Share with your friends. Tell people we need to get the channel out there. You're right. You reckon Tyson and Jones will go 100% at each other regardless of those extra rules? Probably. I think so. Like, I think there's a lot of pressure on them to go hard out. You know what I mean? I don't see either one of them wanting to be the guy that loses this iconic fight, you know? And I think a fight's a fight. And Tyson doesn't seem to me to be the kind of guy that you want to have an exhibition boxing bout with. If you named 20 people, Tyson's not one of the people that I'd be like, hey, man, let's have an exhibition bout with. No, that's not the guy. Hassan Ahmed, apparently the rules are allowing a knockout now. Yeah, I think it was always going to happen regardless of the rules. Chili Miners, really, that's great news. Okay. Who you got, Pearce or Kamaka? Yeah, heard it earlier on YouTube. Adrian Berg, wrestling in the United States, folk style occurs during the winter. States have schools broken up into divisions. Paul, brother, comes from Ohio, which is a traditional powerhouse state. Yeah, no, I know all of that. It's just that I read somewhere, and I'm not saying you're wrong, because like I said, I don't even know who they are properly. I just read somewhere that his brother was a Division I college wrestler. That's all. What's your favorite book, Fab? I don't know, man. I have a whole bunch of different books that I like. Under what setting? If you could put like what genre of book? Because I have favorite books for different genres. So if you be more specific on a genre, I'll be able to tell you the different books. I'm a bit of a reader, so there's a lot of books I read. The White Wolf, the Bell is awesome. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Oh, he attended the college there, but he didn't wrestle there. Right, because he said that he's on the thing that I read, and again, this is just what I read. It said that he'd qualified for the Division I state tournament when he was at Ohio State. But and if he did do that, like that's when I saw that. I thought, whoa, that's like exactly what you said. It's a big time university, and it's a big time state and big time wrestling state. Yeah. Oh, okay. So Adrian Berg, I was right. He wrestled one season in college. Okay, all right. So did he qualify for the state tournament though? Coat of arms, your ability to watch and call exactly what is happening is frightening. I tell you, man, I used to always get in trouble for talking at school, and I get into trouble for talking at home with my wife because I talk too much. But it's funny because like in a social setting, I actually don't talk a lot. Like one-on-one, I talk a lot, but I don't like if there's a group of 10 people, I'm not the main person talking. It's kind of weird because I'm a bit of an introvert. I'm an introvert that gets into trouble for talking. I like the new set and merch. Looks cool. Thank you, man. Thank you, Mitchell. Man, buy a t-shirt, please. Buy a t-shirt. Mitchell. Thank you, Mitchell. I really appreciate it, man. Coach Fab, would you do a live reaction on the Figueredo versus Moreno fight? Man, I'll be practically fighting. I hope Moreno wins. I'm on the Moreno train, like choo choo. I'm driving it, man. I had him on here first, man. It's just that we don't have the massive platform, but I had him on here first. And so yeah, fucking oath, I'll be doing that for sure, 100%, 1,000,000,000%. Yeah, it's been a tough few fights for Kamaka, but Pearce really showed up standing and grappling. Yeah, man, Kamaka looks like physically he's got it all, but my opinion, and I'm not bagging the guy. He looks like he's the goods, but I feel that he's very physically strong, and he's had that to always rely on in his whole life. He looks like the big strong guy always. You know what I mean? Whereas someone like Pearce looks like they had to go through the meat grinder a lot. When is Leon Edwards fighting Hamzat? 19th of December for me. I think actually for me it's the 20th of December. Literally the last fight of 2020. Laugh out loud. Mitchell Robert, Tyson bit a man's ear off in the ring. I don't think he cares about rules. I don't think he gives two fucks about the rules, my friend. Like, that's what I was saying to you before. With all respect to Tyson, like if you said to me, "Oh, Fab, do you want to go in and move around with Tyson? He's not going to hurt you." I'd be like, "Nah." Him, Badahari, there's dudes that there's no exhibition rounds with those guys. Like, and that's not even I'm not even bagging them. I'm just saying like those dudes are the gladiators, man. There's no moving around. There's certain guys you could and certain guys you can't, and they're guys that you can't. Valeria, hey, as always, the queen of the Grange. How are you? Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. Really, really, thank you so much. So happy you're hosting and commentary tonight. I read that amateur boxing is higher caliber versus amateur MMA is not. Do you agree or disagree? I think in general, you got to understand something. I'm not going to throw out and say agree or disagree. I probably will anyways. But I'm just going to say if you have amateur boxing in a lot of countries, in most big countries, has government funded programs, have like, ways to go to the Olympics. They have international competitions. They have international rankings. They have big, massive organizations where it's full of infighting, a whole bunch of shit. They have the Olympics. They have world titles. It's got a massive tradition. Amateur MMA is not there like that. You know what I mean? So I think also in amateur MMA, you'll have some really decent guys fighting in amateur MMA, but I think that the amateur MMA occurs more in jiu-jitsu tournaments, wrestling tournaments, amateur boxing, sambo tournaments, judo. That is the catchment, the biggest catchment for your top end athlete that then transitions over to MMA. If you get, like we were talking earlier, you get a guy that won Ohio, he's an All-American from Ohio State or something like that. That's a high level guy. That guy's going to transition amateur MMA, but he's done his career. He's going to have one or two fights and go off and fight. And he's going to fight MMA professionally. He's not going to have 200 amateur boxing fights. He's already had his amateur experience in the fact that he had 1,000 wrestling matches in his whole life. A kid from Rio or from Sao Paulo will have 1,000 jiu-jitsu matches by the time he's 22. So that's really where their amateur experience occurs. So I don't know if I answered your question. I thought Kamaka would win. He shouldn't have engaged in the grappling. The problem there was that he was looking for that 1-2, but he started he was doing a lot of nice things at the start. He's dropping his level, throwing that jab to the body and coming over the top of the right hand. but he started to slow down. Oh, there it is. Hermansen versus Vittori. That's a cracker. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, so he's looking for that, but he couldn't really, once he started to slow down and he couldn't muscle his way through, it was starting to get, like the pop wasn't there to land that shot, and it allowed Pearce to engage in the grappling. Hassan Ahmed smashed out the second cup of coffee, and I don't think I'm getting any sleep. Man, I used to drink coffee, but if I drink coffee, I see the Matrix. Like I can't. I like. I've got My wife made me a delicious green iced tea, and that's what's keeping me going. Nice one for these shows, Mr. Fab. Love from. Where are you from, Paul Martin? Sorry, your flag, I can't see it clearly. Yeah, I saw that, Hassan. I saw that you highlighted that we had him on first, and we did. He's from here. He's from this podcast. We own him. Brandon Moreno. Joseph, wait, Coach Fab, you got merch. Where can I buy this? On YouTube. Just on the underneath the thing should have like Grange TV, like this new style with that Grange TV logo. I'm pretty sure you can just get it on YouTube. Can someone, I can't open it because obviously I'm doing this, but if someone can open it and tell him, that'd be great. Shout out Valeria as the woman, the best, the queen of the Grange. Valeria, I heard Freddie Roach saying Tyson knocked him out during the mid-session. Man, he probably fucking did. Bo Himmler, what's up, Bilingual Angel? Shout out from Chicago. Thank you, man. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. I love Chicago. I was there for Rob's fight with Romero. It was awesome. I love Chicago, but I was there during it wasn't winter, and everyone said to me, don't even consider moving here during winter. It is fucking brutal. And but I had a lot of good memories from Chicago, a lot of good times. Spent about a month there. It was great. Really, really awesome. Blessy and Ray, yeah, there's a ton of institutions, organizations that directly work on developing boxing globally. Yeah, and the amateur system in boxing is just so deep, man. It's just so deep, and it's an easy sport to do, not physically easy to do. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, it's an easy sport. If you're a poor kid, in poor suburbs in Sydney, if you're a poor kid in big cities in New York or LA or even in like really poor country, third world countries, you don't need a lot of equipment. You don't need a lot of equipment to be able to box. And you don't need to do you don't have to pay 20 million overheads to do it. So you can find a coach that will take you through the whole way through. And maybe your style is not suited to amateurs, but you're suited to be a good pro. But you have a bunch of amateur fights anyways, and then you can go pro. And that's reasonably easy, kind of streamlined to do. Versus MMA, you're going to have to do jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is expensive. It's not traditionally a sport for poor people a lot of the times. Although in Brazil, there is a lot of people from poorer backgrounds doing it. But here, man, it's expensive sport versus you can go to a PCYC here and pay, I don't know, maybe $10, $15 a week and do boxing at a good level with good coaches, versus paying $40, $50 a week to do jiu-jitsu at in a gym. So there's a difference. The White Wolf asks, do you plan on having Rob back on the podcast? Rob's always welcome on the podcast. It's just a question of whether, what he's doing, what he wants to do, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But as far as him being on the podcast, I don't have plans not to have him on the podcast. He's always welcome to be on here at any stage for sure. At the end of the day, we started the whole run together even before he went to middleweight. So, we still, I talk to him and that, but, he's doing his thing and I'm kind of doing mine. And, it's just that at the moment. But no, we still talk. If I don't have any problems with him, he doesn't have any problems with me. It's not any plan or no plan to have him. It's just with things coincide, you know. A lot of times people ask me like, why don't I have someone on the podcast, or you should have this guy. And dude, like, there's a lot of people I would have on the podcast. If you guys can get Glover Teixeira on the podcast, get him on the podcast. Yo Romero, get him on the podcast. You know what I mean? But it's not that easy for me to just go and get him. Who's fighting right now? The girls. Ashley Evans Smith's fight. She's walking out. Ashley Evans Smith is walking out. She's doing the walkout. I think she has fake eyelashes. I've never understood that. But Scott Okaga says, coffee makes my heart hurt. Dude, honestly, I used to drink coffee and I was like crazy, beaming. No, no one's fighting, man. That's what we were talking. The Ashley Evans Smith's about to fight. Shout out to Mrs. Ite from Hassan Ahmed. Yeah, tips from Fab. Drink coffee to see the Matrix. Man, it's for me, honestly, it's prohibitive for me to drink coffee. I don't function well if I drink coffee. I don't function well at all. Flag is a Scotland, but it was a black flag. It was just all black flag. I thought yours was like a blue and white one. It's a completely black flag. I thought you were like an internet pirate. Hey man, stay tuned for a live fight in One Championship on December 4th from Cedric Justin Alcoseba. What do you mean? Like, we'll all watch it? I will do it. If you guys want to do a fight companion for different organizations, I will 100% do a fight companion. I'm a big fan of One Championships. They're in the ring now. They're in the cage. Both girls are in the cage. So Norma Dumont, Norma's my mother's name. Norma missed weight by a bunch. By a lot, man. Shit. But Ashley Evans is pretty good. I want to see this fight. Adrian Berg, chances we see a top-level leg locker, Craig Jones, etc., transitioning to MMA. Well, we've had a bunch of really good leg lockers traditionally. Now, there's been a lot. I spoke to Craig about that. He actually said he wants to have a couple of fights. Gordon Ryan's talking about fighting. Gary Tonon's fighting at one. We had Palhares. Palhares was a good leg locker. Scary. Who else? Imanari, of course. Rumina Sato back in the day. These are guys more back in the day kind of guys. But no, there's been a bunch of leg lockers. But I think Craig's talking about it as well. Yeah, I don't know about that, if he's going to actually do it. Gordon Ryan's talking about doing it, and yeah, Tonon's already doing it. Paul Martin, sir, love your breakdowns. Keep it going, sir. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Have I heard Izzy's commentary? Is it good? I don't know. I've never heard Izzy's commentary. I don't watch much of stuff, you know. But I'm sure he's very knowledgeable. He's a smart guy, so he knows what he'd be talking about. We're off. Evan Smith in the center of the cage. Dumont's being moved backwards. Dumont's in the southpaw position, so she switches to orthodox. Evan Smith throws out a jab. She throws out a 1-2, but she's out of range. So Evan Smith is doing what that other girl did last week. She's kind of staying out of both people's range. So, like, then both girls are outside of each other's range. Their kick was landed by Evan Smith. She seems to be starting to get a little bit closer to range. Dumont is controlling the center of the octagon, moving it back. Inside leg kick, throws a right hand, but hits nothing but air. Again, Smith throws hands, but everything's hitting air from Smith. But now she's worked her way back to the center of the octagon. Both girls looking comfortable. I'd like to see, I believe Evan Smith has... Okay. Again. So Dumont's gone in for that right kick two times now, and Evan Smith comes back over the top with the right hand, but no damage is being done by either girl. They're very tentative. They obviously respect each other's power, each other's stand up. But they're standing outside of each other's ranges. 3 minutes 40 seconds to go. Left kick to the body thrown by Evan Smith. No damage occurred yet. Both girls wary of each other, standing just outside each other's range. Dumont works her way back. Again, they exchange punches in the middle. I don't like how Evan Smith is pulling her head straight back. That's not a good sign. Dumont looks very powerful. She looks like a very powerful girl. She threw a 1-2 then and kind of hit this Evan Smith, and Evan Smith knew about it. Dumont seems to be holding the center of the cage quite well. Now she's egging her on. She's calling her in to come in. Dumont throws a very powerful kick and comes over the top of the left hook. And Evan Smith felt that. Evan Smith answers with a left kick of her own. But Dumont seems to be very, very confident in her power. She's looking for to land that power shot. I think she might land that right hand on Evan Smith. What it does to her, I don't know. Evan Smith is pouring at her. Another big, powerful shot by Dumont is finding a home with that right kick and the left hook so she's landing the right low kick to Evan Smith, and then she's landing either a left hook or a straight right on the break of that. She throws a spinning kick to the body, but misses. Ooh, from the southpaw, she hit her with 2 check hooks. Then she hit her with a nice stiff jab, did Dumont. Evan Smith is now being backed a little bit into the center, into the back towards the cage. Dumont is landing combinations now. This I don't like. Dumont had her up against the cage and she kind of backed off and gave her back her real estate. You know, I don't like that. I like if you work your way to get someone all the way to the cage, make them work their way out of it. But Dumont looks very, very composed. She's got very nice hands. Ooh, she came in with a lead right hand and landed a flush combination there on Evan Smith. She parries Smith's jab, moves ahead, dodges and weaves it. She's kind of slipped out of the way of one of those punches then. Dumont's getting the better of these exchanges. Smith is just outside of her own range. And when she comes in, she eats the 1-2, sometimes the 3 from Dumont. Again, Ashley Smith throws her kicks. Oh, she caught her with a nice little check hook. But big power shots by Dumont. She's landed them. Dumont's got her up against the cage. Good head positioning. Throws a kind of like a elbow / punch. Dumont is very aggressive. She's very aggressive, very powerful. But I want to see how this translates into the later rounds. Double underhooks here by Evan Smith, but she's got her own back against the cage. Dumont is pushing her chin up. She throws her elbow on the break. Evan Smith is getting the worst of these combinations. Dumont is standing orthodox. Now she's switched back. She switched from, southpaw to conventional. Very slow spinning kick by Evan Smith. Feints a takedown. Girls are in the clinch. Dumont lands a knee. They trade knees in there. Nice trip by Dumont. Very nice inside Evan Smith's closed guard. Nice. Okay, so Evan Smith is doing a good job of just holding her down. Hoping that the ref stands him up. There's 10 seconds to go. But no, big damage there landed by Dumont. Big shot there. Evan Smith is getting hips across, but she's not going to be able to get a submission. Another big shot landed by Dumont. Oh, that's Dumont's round the whole way around. I give that to Dumont. I haven't heard it, but I think Israel would know what to say, and definitely knows fighting, and in particular striking. Very smart guy with his fighting, So yeah, no, I haven't heard it, but I imagine that it's very, very, very good. What does that mean, Patrick Major, when you say -6? I don't understand. Patrick Major says 5. The Tyson Jones fight is no spar. Tyson only knows how to fight one way, power punching. That is true. The girls are about to start again. Evan Smith looks pretty banged up. And we're off. I think Dumont's winning this by a fair stretch, in my opinion. She's winning it by a fair stretch. She's looked very relaxed coming in. I think she's going to land this leg kick. I do believe now she's gone to southpaw. She's looking to get her Smith. They're both going to southpaw now. Nice combination thrown by Dumont. She's standing in southpaw to Evan Smith's orthodox. Evan Smith again pouring with a jab, but nothing doing. Dumont looks very comfortable, very relaxed, very powerful. Evan Smith throws a feint to the legs. Now she's looking to get the grappling going. Nice head throw, but she gives it up, and now she's got her back taken. Wow, nice work by Dumont. She took her back, very good. Evan Smith does have a wrestling background, but she just doesn't look comfortable in this fight. Evan Smith goes for an armbar. Dumont escapes out the back door. She's in north-south position. And now she has side control on Evan Smith. There's 3 minutes, 47 seconds to go. She looks very comfortable on the mat as well, does Dumont. She looked to land some ground and pound here. She's taken the back. Evan Smith is trying very hard to get the half guard back, but it's not going to happen. Dumont is very, very heavy on top. She's framing very well against the face and landing shots. Again, she's regained the mount. It's interesting when you watch the girls fight because they're so flexible. Sometimes they're able to do stuff from different positions. But here in this position now, Dumont is very heavy on top. She's got her hips down. She's great behind the legs. Dumont's trying really, really hard to get her half guard back, but it's not going to happen here. It's not going to happen. She's framing very, very, very well, is Dumont, right across her face and being able to land that forearm whenever she gets given any space. She's got the full mount here. It's just 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go. No matter what happens here, Evan Smith is going to pay a massive cardio price. She's already not looking the worse for wear. Dumont's landing some heavy ground and pound. Now she's pushing her forehead into Evan Smith's eye socket. There have been submissions with the chin into the eye socket. I haven't ever seen a submission with the forehead into the eye socket, but I have had grubs do that kind of stuff to me when I grapple, and it hurts. I have never been a grub to do that to somebody else. Big ground and pound landed now, right on the ear by Dumont. She's in full. There's a wardrobe adjustment, and we're off. Evan Smith, 2 minutes to go. She does not look like she's going to be able to get out from here. She's regained a little bit of the half guard, but not much, not enough to do anything. There's going to be some very big ground and pound landed here by Dumont, I believe. If she's able to frame, she's going to look to frame with the left hand. There we go. She's looking to frame with the left hand. She's landing some ground and pound. Great work by Evan Smith. She regained the half guard, and she's getting to her feet. I did not think she was going to be able to do that, and she did very good, but that's going to come at a cost. From southpaw, she throws a flurry of punches, but she's not looking composed in this fight. Dumont, on the other hand, is bouncing around. She looks very good. Landed big left-right combination, did Dumont. Evan Smith has taken a lot of shots. A good fight. Evan Smith is tough as hell. But she's standing outside of the range. Everything she's thrown is standing just outside the range and throwing it kind of slow. It's a massive left hook from Dumont. Great left hook. A kind of counter left hook by Dumont. Nice kick by Dumont. Leg kick to Evan Smith. I think Dumont may have slowed down a little bit as well. There's 49 seconds to go. Both rounds, for me, clear winners Dumont. That's my opinion. 44 seconds to go. Evan Smith throws a kick up the middle, but again, it's a fair bit out of range. Like, I'm going to say 10, 15 centimeters out of range. Dumont lands a heavy low kick on Evan Smith. And then a massive combination. Really swung for the fences on the break there with a big overhand right. And Dumont, very smart, very calculated. Like, she's not trying to finish. She's landing the big shots. If she lands them, then she's not going crazy trying to land more shots. She's very composed. Landed a stiff jab there on Evan Smith. Evan Smith felt it and moved away. Dumont is very composed. Again, Evan Smith throws in combinations out of range. And she's got the range on Dumont, I believe. That's the round. Very, very nice round for Dumont. Who's winning? I believe Dumont. Some solution. Green tea, not bad. Green tea's the best. Steve Booth, the man. Let's go, Smith. If you're saying Ashley Evans Smith, I don't think she's going to win. I like her. I go for her as well. Dumont looks very, very composed, and she's landing combination after combination. But Steve, I just want to say thank you so much for your support. You're the man, man. I really, really, really appreciate it. Chili Miners, I'm drinking a 1,500 calorie bulking shake. Laugh out loud. No need for coffee with this bad boy. Dude, if I drank stuff like that, I would be a blimp, dude. I'd be a blimp. I'd look like a brown piece of Play-Doh or something. Hey guys, what's your opinion on Jack Hermansen versus Marvin Vittori? Thank God bless. Man, Damien, I like Hermansen. He's one of my favorites in that division, just one of my favorites overall. I'd love to have him on the podcast. Marvin Vittori is pretty tidy, though. He's very tidy. We're off, people. Round 3, start of round 3, 4 minutes, 53 seconds to go. There's a lot of swelling around Evan Smith's face. Dumont looks very, very composed. Man, I don't like people missing weight, and fighting. Like, I know I'd rather see the fight than not see it, but it's a massive advantage, especially at the bantamweights, especially with the girls and the lighter weights. It's a lot of advantage. A few pounds is a lot. I don't know the backstory to that. Again, Evan Smith is standing right outside of range, and Dumont's landing some big combinations. Very, very good is Dumont. I like the power punches. She's very composed and really marking up Evan Smith's face. Uppercut whiffed by Evan Smith, missed. Left, right landed by Dumont, and left, right landed by Dumont again. Again, the girls exchange punches. Evan Smith goes looking for a counter hook, but doesn't get it. Throws a jab. The girls exchange punches up close. Dumont always gets the better of the exchanges. Pouring with a check hook was Evan Smith. Dumont's bouncing around on the outside, very comfortable, dropping the lead hand, giving her a little bit of extra range. She's moving around very relaxed, also allows your arms to rest. The girls exchange punches. Right hand landed by Evan Smith. Again, another right hand landed by Evan Smith, but she's just outside of range, and Dumont's able to hit her on the break with a left jab. Both girls missed just outside of range then, but a 1-2 from Dumont. So Evan Smith is throwing just outside of range. She goes for a single leg takedown on the lead leg of Dumont. Dumont stuffs it and lands a couple of elbows for Evan Smith's trouble. Oh, nice 1-2 from the southpaw position by Dumont. Nice. It's the first time she's landed that body kick from the southpaw, did Evan Smith. Throws a kind of jab hook, does Evan Smith, and it walks straight into a Dumont jab. Dumont just hits with more power every time. Again, she goes looking for the body straight kick from the southpaw stance, does Evan Smith. I don't like how the girls are following each other around the octagon. I'd rather see people cut each other off, but a strong 1-2 landed by Dumont. Very strong 1-2. Very strong 1-2. Inside leg kick by Evan Smith. 1-2 by Dumont. And the girls are exchanging. Nice leg kick landed by Dumont. Evan Smith seems to have found her range a little bit better this round, but she's not landing the power shots, and I think she's taking too much damage in the first 2 rounds. Big 1-2 by Dumont. Didn't land flush. Was on the back of an Evan Smith kick. Evan Smith punches her way in, punching herself into range, which I like. And that would be a better spot for her to maybe change some wrestling. Dumont, nice outside leg kick landed from the southpaw stance by Dumont, showing a good vocabulary of strikes too, does Dumont. Oh, that's why I'm high as hell as well, because I just looked. I've got 2 tea bags in my tea that my wife put in. For me, that's like crack. I'm flying close to God. Nice work by Dumont to get the high underhooks. She's got double underhooks on Evan Smith. I do believe Evan Smith will be able to get it back. I don't think Dumont's going to get the takedown here on Evan Smith. Evan Smith is a decent wrestler, but she's going to be able to get held there. She's going to be held there by Dumont, and she's running out of time. Dumont has very good head position. Evan Smith throws a check hook on the end there. Again, she's just outside of range. Dumont is able to move back, and that puts what happens is Evan Smith steps into Dumont's range, and Dumont's able to counter like she just did then with a three punch combination. Here, I'd like to see Dumont keep her on the cage, cut the cage off, and don't back away. 45 seconds to go. Right hand landed by Dumont. Nice right hand. Dumont's got a lot of power in those punches. Big combination of punches. Uppercut drops Ashley Smith. She's in a lot of trouble. That was a big uppercut. She's looking for that single leg. She's got a big heart, does Evan Smith. I don't know if Dumont's going to go for the guillotine or she's going to go for the crossface. But no, very good work by Dumont. She stops it. Evan Smith's got a chin on her, and she's got a big heart, man. Dumont's landing big shots to the body. Evan Smith has 12 seconds to go. She gets taken down. She's looking for nice. She got the takedown from the wizard, does Evan Smith, but then she got reversed. Dumont has taken her back. That's the bell, guys. What a great fight. I'm really impressed by Evan Smith's heart. I'll be honest. The fight was won by Dumont, hands down, but Evan Smith, mate, she's got a chin and a big heart. As far as Hermansen versus Marvin Vittori, man, I think Hermansen, but I think Marvin Vittori is very tidy and he's very well rounded. He's beaten a lot of guys that, even with Israel, he did well. Like, he's good at mixing it up. But I think Hermansen does what he does really well. And I don't think that Hermansen is scared to take Vittori down, no matter how good Vittori's jiu-jitsu is, just because of, like, you saw him fight Jacare. You saw him, if you can hold Jacare down, your jiu-jitsu on top is good. He went for a submission on Jacare. He's very confident with what he does. And there's two things. When I interviewed Juan Espino, we had him on here as well. He said something that's very, very true. And that's, you can be good at doing something, but then you got to be confident in your ability to do that. And I see that in Hermansen so well. He is not just good at certain things. He's very confident at doing it. Like that guillotine that he does, he's very confident at doing it. He's very good at doing it and very confident. He'll do it to Jacare, and he'll go to the ground with Jacare. So I see that being a very big plus for him against Vittori. I see him being able to take Vittori down. I think Vittori is very good. I was very impressed with Hermansen. This is the thing as well. People lose a fight and people bag him. I was really, really impressed with him in the Cannonier fight, but Cannonier caught him. I was impressed in the way that he was able to take Cannonier down and the way he was able to pick him up, suplex him, do the whole work. And the fact that he was confident enough to go for that belly to back suplex on a monster, on a gorilla like Cannonier. So I think Hermansen. I was just watching then. I was thinking, tell me they didn't give it to Evan Smith. That was a good fight. So sad, Martin, you were lost. Yeah, man, I was cut. Yes, I agree. You get the best beverage battle by far. Good call, Hassan. Yeah, Ryan Hall as well, another good leg blocker as well. Yeah, absolutely. Jack the Ripper, thank you to Norma there for giving us Uncle Fab. Mate, I was a bit of a letdown. I believe I still am, but hey, what do you do? I knew of Gary Tonin before one, but the man is a serious threat to the roster there. Man, Gary Tonin's a really good grappler. Really good grappler. Like, he wrestled growing up, did jiu-jitsu. Man, really, really, really good. Yeah, that's it's blue and white on my end, Paul Martin. You should get Liam the Hitman Harrison on the show. He's a killer, fighting one championship now, multi Muay Thai world champion, top-notch bloke. I believe I reached out to him. I did reach out to him. A lot of the times, the guys are busy. They've got a million people on, whatever, a whole bunch of other stuff. And I understand my channel is not massive, so no, I haven't had him on. If you know him, hit him up. I'll have him on the show. I'm sorry, I'm just reading through. Um, yeah, Evan Smith needs to pull the trigger. Tyson Bradley. That's the thing, man. She's standing outside of that range. You know what I mean? She's standing outside of the range and she's throwing shots. And I think a lot of that happened when Norma, my mother's namesake, she probably felt that power. There's things that happen in fights as well that people, like, someone hits you and you feel their power and you're wary of that. You know, you're wary of entering that zone and getting hit. But what was happening is because she was standing outside of the zone, she couldn't get her wrestling off. Bohemla, you're right. She is a NAIA wrestler, I believe. Um, and she couldn't get in close enough to be able to be effective with her wrestling and effective with the strikes. Bobby Saget fan, there you go. Thank you so much. I'm loving these. How do I get a shirt? Do you think there's a learning curve coming from boxing to MMA due to bigger gloves and tendencies to shell? Two things. I believe that you can get the shirts via YouTube. Like just on the underneath that, it should like be a thing where the merch is. If you can all help each other to find that, you should be able to buy the shirts. Do I think there's a learning curve coming from boxing to MMA due to bigger gloves and tendencies to show? I think, like, whether it's wrestling, judo, sambo, whatever it is, that's not MMA, there's always going to be a learning curve, you know. But whether it's boxing or jiu-jitsu or judo, you're going to have a lot more things that you can do than and apply to the learning curve. You know what I mean? Rather than if you didn't have the background. I think any of these things that we spoke about, and let's talk about amateur boxing, the fact that a lot of these guys have 100, 200 amateur fights coming in is a massive learning curve in that you fought a whole bunch of different guys. You fought tall guys, you fought technical guys, you fought short power punches, you fought tall guys that lean back, you fought guys that fight on the bluff, you fought guys that switch stance, all of that type of stuff you're going to take to MMA, and most guys aren't going to have that level of boxing. There are going to be tendencies to things like that. Yeah, you might shell or not shell, or you might be susceptible to leg kicks. But if you can get people boxing with you, the 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 advantage that you're going to have is massive. Israel, you take a guy like Israel who's had 100 combat fights, regardless of what it is, 60, 70 kickboxing fights at a high level too, you know, like you have a lot of weapons, you know what I mean? And you draw people into that fight. Yeah, you throw things from angles sometimes that might leave you susceptible to a takedown. Early on his career, maybe, but you're able to adjust that much quicker than someone that doesn't have that base. I'm a firm believer in guys that have strong bases in either amateur boxing, judo, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, whatever it is, transitioning over to MMA. I just think that their depth in that particular sport and in competition is far outweighs anything that they lose, you know, like wrestlers giving up their back or not being able to strike, or jiu-jitsu guys flopping to their back if sore or losing bad positions or whatever. It's, you know, judokas, you know, not having the same takedowns, you know, without the gi. But you lose what those things you lose, you can transition into it. You're going to work and you're going to get better at it. But you have such a big experience to draw from, and I think that that's really paramount. When you see guys like Khabib that have wrestled, done judo, done a lot of sambo, they're able to go to a world of knowledge and competition that a lot of people don't have. So thank you, and thank you so much, man, for supporting. I really appreciate it. Hold on, let me just check. I want to check about these shirts. Sorry, guys, I was just looking to see how it is that you can buy the shirts. Um, hey Fab, sorry, I just hey Fab, I was just wondering how have you managed to meet all these legends through the years, like when you met Charles Oliveira in Brazil, etc., etc., etc. Man, like I trained for a long time. I got my blue belt in Brazil from Kamaka. Where I got my blue belt, Buchecha was at the gym. I trained with Buchecha every day. And he was a purple belt. He was like an 18-year-old kid who was a purple belt. He tapped me about a fucking 1,000 times. So I just trained a lot. I used to train and coach a lot and travel. And I was with the national team with wrestling. I was one of the coaches, and I used to travel all different places and coach. And I used to always, it still do, I try to spend 10% of my income every year on bettering my knowledge. So whether that's me taking university courses or traveling, at the moment now, it's more reasonable for me to study or something like that. I can't just travel and go train somewhere because, I've got a family in that. But I've been to the institute in Havana in Cuba, and I've seen how they trained. I've been all over the world, man, traveling, coaching, learning, getting my ass handed to me. And so that's my background as far as that's concerned. Funnily enough, I haven't grappled for a while now, and I went and grappled at Garage Jiu-Jitsu here at Wollongong. So shout out to Garage Jiu-Jitsu. Ryan Walsh runs it there. Fucking great guy. If you live in the Wollongong area, I strongly recommend you hit him up. Man, my body is soft as baby shit. I got tapped like a typewriter, and everything hurts. Everything hurts. I feel like I got in a fight with 20 guys. That's how I feel. Yeah, there it is, Mitchell Robert. Close chat, scroll down, and you should see the merch. If not, click on the channel, go over to the right, and it says store. Mitchell Roberts, you are a special, special man. JG, it's no surprise. Tyson Bradley, Tenor. I don't know how anyone can miss the merch. It's right there in front of your face. Ange said that. I'm interested to see how much they have in the tank after that second round. The boys are walking out now. They need to take away the amount of your paycheck if you miss weight, because it makes your chances of winning substantially higher. I agree with Izzy on missing weight. I don't know what Izzy said about missing weight, but I'm going to throw it out there that I agree with him too. People don't understand, man, like how much that advantage is. Like they'll talk about someone missing weight. Oh, he only missed weight by 400 grams. It doesn't make a difference. And I think if you were there with my guy when he was cutting the last 400 fucking grams, you would understand that, yeah, it matters, dude. And you know what? If you'd like, maybe you shouldn't be in this division, So, yeah, I think the penalty for missing weight should be massive, because by all accounts, I should be able to just pull out and say, no, you didn't make the weight. Give me my money. That's it. And then the show would be fucked. You know what I mean? So I think that, yeah, if you miss weight, I think it should be massive. Hey, Fabulicious, you missed my question. All love. It's okay. I am mad. Bobby, did I not just answer it? Did I not just answer it then? Sorry, because I was commentating. But please write down if I missed your question, and I'll do my best to answer it. Let me know if I missed it, man. SSJ Miggs, you're the best. Every little bit helps. I appreciate it so much. I'm jelly of Fab being so composed and not twitching like me and knocking the dishes off the table. Dude, I am off the charts high right now. Like, I am so fucking high. If you just give me 1 second, I have to dilute my green tea because it's too much. I don't know if my wife, because I have life insurance, I don't know if my wife's low-key trying to kill me, maybe give me a heart attack. The next guy is about to walk in, guys. Spike Carlyle is walking out right now. One Willow. Okay, Warrior MMA. Thank you so much for supporting Warrior. Hey Fab, how you doing? Thoughts on Izzy versus Hermansen potentially? Man, I've been watching Israel for a long time, So I was very, very aware of Israel for years and years and years and years. Man, I knew dudes. This is just to put in perspective. I knew dudes like, I know a guy that used to train with me named Rob Lacida. Shout out, Rob. who fought Daniel Hooker back in the day. I don't remember who won, but it was like back in the day. I don't know who won. But I knew about, my point is, I knew about Daniel Hooker back then. You know what I mean? I knew about Israel, fighting. Like, I knew about all those guys, man. This is New Zealand. We're in Sydney. They're in Auckland. It's easy. It's closer for me to go to Auckland than it is for me to go to Perth, if you follow my drift. So you know about the fighters, you know about all of them. So I knew about Izzy for a long time, I have to go with Izzy because, his record, you know what I mean? Record stands for itself. He's beaten everyone they put in front of him. Having said that, I really like all the stuff I said about Hermansen earlier. I like the fact that Hermansen is a guy that knows what he can do, has the confidence to do it, and will do it. You know what I mean? He will do it. Like, I like the way that he beat Gastelum. He went for it. Gastelum reversed it. Gastelum's a good wrestler. So I think Hermansen went for a kind of body lock, and Hermansen turned it into a kind of lateral drop. And from there, Hermansen went for heel hook after heel hook and got it. Gastelum can grapple, like no one's really done that like that to Gastelum that I can think of. And please write down if you think anyone has. Like, Weidman out grappled him, but it wasn't like that, So I think that Hermansen can potentially cause a lot of problems for Israel if he gets Israel into that groove. If he's able to take Israel down and start to, but Israel's tall and he's big and he's fucking strong. And he's able to frame so well. He's able to frame so well. He's able to pivot so well. And he's able to create false distances really, really well. I think Israel will win that fight inside 3. Guys, we're about to start. And not quite yet. We're about to start. And we're off. We're off. Okay. Carlyle is very aggressive. But Algeo looks more composed to me and looks tidier. Algeo looks tidier. Carlyle he's thrown the inside leg kick, outside leg kick there. But I think Algeo is going to catch this guy coming in. I do believe it. He just seems to be a little bit more composed. Throws a nice calf kick. Carlyle's been caught with a left hook. Just caught. Algeo's now walking forward. Doesn't seem to respect Carlyle's stand up whatsoever. Carlyle's standing in the southpaw position. Inside leg kick landed by Algeo. Again, I think Algeo's just getting the read, getting the switches to southpaw. Does Algeo. Lands a big left kick landed by Carlyle. Left high kick thrown by Algeo. Very slow. Very slow. Runs in. Carlyle does it. The stand up between these two guys is a little bit off. A little bit off. I don't know. It's my mistake as well. I don't know too much about these guys. But I do think Algeo's big punches exchange there. Carlo is definitely the more powerful one. But they're off with their timing. Left, right landed by Algeo. I don't like how Carlo runs in, leading with. Now he's screaming at him. He's screaming at him. He's very angry. Being a redhead, my mother's a redhead, and I will tell you this, that it is a warning sign in nature. They're very angry people. So you have to always be careful with the redheads. Carlyle is dropping levels. Not a lot is happening here. Right kick thrown by Algeo. Carlyle tries to bridge the gap, but he's kind of running in head first, and I don't like it. When he lands those leg kicks, he's really hurting Algeo, though. Oh, nice spin kick landed by Algeo to the body, and it kind of landed there. Carlo drops his level and comes over the top with a left hook. Left hook landed by Algeo. Again, runs in, does Carlo, lands a couple of punches. Now he's gone for a takedown. May have got hit by a knee. High underhooks by Carlo. He's trying to muscle this takedown. He's got it. He's got it down. He's got Algeo down. He's going for the back. But Algeo may be able to get up here. Carlyle's trying to get that hook in, but he's got the correct hook in. But I don't like kind of what he's doing here. Algeo's kind of in a high parterre position. Carlyle's not having a lot of luck being able to ride him back down to the ground. Algeo looks at the ref to help him out. I don't like the ref stopping this. I don't want the ref to get involved because Carlyle worked for this position. Algeo's in a bad position here. And so Carlyle should be rewarded. You don't get rewarded for speaking to the ref, I don't believe. Now Carlyle's able to kind of muscle him to the ground, ride him down a little bit. Algeo's going up against the fence. I don't know if he's not going to hit this switch. Or is he? He might hit this switch. He might hit the switch. No, but he got up and he got out. But Carlyle's still riding him. The problem here is I don't know how experienced Carlyle is in this particular position, but that isometric hold where you're holding on for a long time is very tiring as well. Is very tiring. Carlyle looks he's got a bulldog choke. He could have it. It's cinched in. Is it deep enough? He seems to have it. Nice. He seems to have this bulldog choke, but I don't know if it's under Algeo's chin. Algeo's pushing, fighting the hands, which is what he should be doing. Carlyle is a very strong guy, a very thick, little, strong guy. I don't know. He hasn't got it. He hasn't got it now. And I do think that all that isometric holding by Carlyle is going to take its toll. Algeo is now taking his back. He's got 30 seconds to go. Algeo's starting to land shots now. I don't know if Carlyle's completely gassed, but I will tell you that it does take its toll, the isometric holds. Full mount. Oh, nice wrist control. I don't see enough of that. I want to see more of that by people, the wrist control by Algeo that he did then. But he didn't flatten him out. You got to get your hooks in, flatten him out, and get that wrist control. Now starting to fight at a very heavy pace. Elbows landed by Algeo. Uppercuts landed by Carlyle. Nice, and that's the break, guys. Very, very nice work at the end of the fight, at the end of the round by both of them. I like that at the end. It took a little bit to get going, but then they started fighting. Yeah, so just Setian, that's exactly right. So Kelvin executed the lateral drop and caught by Hermansen on the ground. Exactly right. But if you remember, Hermansen did go for the body lock, which is what initialized the lateral drop. But he can wrestle, man, Gastelum. And in real life, when you see him, man, he's built like a fucking brick. I don't even know how he made 170. He's a big boy. He's like a heavyweight's torso on these little limbs. But he's a big guy, big head, big body. Hey, Fab, what are your thoughts on the Wonderboy Jeff Neal fight? I realize you'll do a breakdown, but I'm just dying to hear. Do you think Wonderboy is still firing on all cylinders despite his age? I will answer this after this. Sorry, man. I just want to do the breakdown. We're off, people. Herb Dean's holding these men away. I like it. They've touched gloves. They're in the middle. Southpaw from Algeo switches back to orthodox. Throws a high kick to Carlyle, but he's not throwing them with snap. In Algeo holding the center, Carlyle throws a right low kick. Again, now Algeo, he's looking for the takedown, looking for a head throw. He's landed a little uppercut on the break there, but he seemed to land a flush, and Carlyle has certainly slowed down. I do think that spinning back fist by Carlyle whiffs it, but doesn't really land. Very slow knee by Algeo. Carlyle's still going for it. He went for the choke. Good scramble by Algeo. I do believe that if this makes it to the third round, I do believe that it's going to take a lot of gas from Carlyle. A lot of the isometric stuff that he's doing, a lot of the strength that he's using. Algeo landed a knee there in the clinch. I would suggest for Algeo to start landing a lot of body shots on Carlyle. Carlyle seems to be a very powerful person. You have to try and take that steam away from him. They got a over under each of them, but I think that Algeo is going to manage to slip out of that. High underhooks on the cage, boys. High underhook on the cage is what runs the show. Neither one of these boys is fighting very hard for high underhooks. Here it's like a kind of 50-50 on the cage that they have. Now, full body lock by Algeo in a trip. Carlyle, he's has his back taken. He's fighting to not let the other hook in. Body triangle now landed by Algeo, and this is going to start to take a lot of pressure on Carlyle. Sorry. Smart by Algeo. He didn't keep squeezing. A lot of times people keep squeezing that body triangle, and it taxes your legs too. Here he's got that wrist control that I was talking about. He could get the other wrist control as well and really flatten him out. Sergio Pena calls it spreading the chicken. If you don't know who Sergio Pena is, do a quick Google search and do not embarrass yourself, because that man is a legend in jiu-jitsu, an absolute legend. Head arm choke attempted here by Algeo. I don't think he's going to get it, but Carlyle really seems to be the worst for wear now. He can hold him here. I don't think he's going to get it though. Yeah. So he's got deep half. Carlyle's looking for half guard on the turn, but he's not going to get it. He's really gashed. There's 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. I see Algeo holding this position, really wearing him out. He is spreading the chicken a la Sergio Pena, and he's landing the ground and pound down, landing good ground and pound, and he's gone back to the wrist control. And he's going to keep doing this. And anyone that does jiu-jitsu, if you get your back taken like this and you get spread out like that, man, it hurts. It just takes so much of your gas. So the smart thing for Algeo is he can just keep riding him, landing the ground and pound, and keep doing this. And if it goes to the third round, Carlyle is going to be really, really very much the worst for wear. I'm going to have to go for like a 10K run after this, man. I'm so high on green tea. So wrist control here. He's got his back taken. He's got the wrist control, does Algeo. He's looking to spread him out more, but I think he's a little high. Now he's done the right thing. He's gone back hip to hip. He's got the wrist control. Carlyle is fighting hard. Now he's going for a modified choke. He's got it. You can finish this from there. Carlyle's looking to escape at the back door. Now he's lost his hook, has Algeo, but he's still got one hook in. That knee to the body would have hurt. He's got a good little knees to the body that he's working. He don't see enough of this in MMA, which I think you have to land it, especially when these guys are gassed. People don't understand how hard it is to breathe when you're gassed a little bit, and you're starting to get tired. Your body, like, even if you know what to do, this is what a lot of people don't understand. Even if you know what to do, once you're gassed, it's very hard to do it. Carlyle's using a lot of strength. He's managed to get himself back on top, but he used a lot of strength. Algeo's searching and looking and fishing for a triangle here and landing a lot of elbows from the bottom. It's all Algeo this round. Carlyle is landing a little bit of ground and pound, but he's in more danger than he is doing any damage. There's 18 seconds to go. Elbow after elbow from Algeo on the ground. Carlyle's looking to pass the half guard. He's succeeded in getting to half guard, but he's trying to land some big bombs. Good on him, man. Leg lock attempt by Algeo, but that's the round. SSJ Miggs says, love Izzy's style, but do you think he can beat Jan? I definitely think he can beat Jan, but I do think that Jan has a very, very kind of awkward lumberjack kind of style, you know what I mean? That I don't know that people truly understand it until they're in there with him or until they see him live. I don't think that Izzy's going to get caught out by that because he's too smart. He's got, his corner has been around for a long time. That's the thing I say to you as well. Like, a lot of the times, like, you see people from Australia, New Zealand, and we up until Rob Volkanovski, Jimmy Crute, Israel, like, for whatever reason, we haven't been getting that level of respect. We've had a lot of great strikers come out of Australia and New Zealand. Sefu, Jeff Fennick, Corbett, Mark Hunt. You can go forever, We've had a lot of good guys. Sam Greco. We had a lot of good guys, So he's not going to get caught out like that. So I do believe that Israel can beat Jan, and I think he probably will. But the third round started. The guys are trading. We will get back to this. Okay, so Algeo's holding the center of the cage. Carlyle has slowed down significantly. I'd like to see Algeo fish for the body. Front kicks to the body. They don't require, just front snap kicks to the body. They don't require a lot of effort, but they do start to slow your opponent down. 1-2 landed by Algeo, but he takes one on the break himself. I'd like to see him just use those little front kicks to the body. Oh, he landed up, but Carlyle's got a chin. He landed a shin to Carlyle's head, but Carlyle lands 3 punches back. Both boys have landed some shots on each other. Oh, nice 1-2 landed by Algeo. There's actually a 2-1 landed by Carlyle. Sorry, it was my mistake from the southpaw position. Jab landed by Algeo. Carlyle always looks like he's slowed down, but he's still in there. But both boys have slowed down. Both guys have slowed down here. Front kicks, little front kicks, snap front kicks to the body from Algeo would be, yeah, there you go. Well done. That's what I want to see him do. Just keep doing it, man. Not that I'm going for Algeo. I'm just saying that that's what I can see. Lunging punch by Carlyle lands, but he hasn't got enough on it to stop Algeo. There's the front kicks. These front kicks are very, very important, guys. They do sap your energy. They do take your strength. Let's see it again. Let's see it again. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. 1-2 landed by Algeo. Nice. Carlo's gone for a takedown. Carlo's got his back. He's going to try and ride him over. But Algeo's balancing. He's doing a good job. He's hooked his legs on to not let Carlo get the takedown. This is going to take its toll on Carlo. Algeo reverses it. Good job by Carlo to not get mounted. But he's in a front headlock position by Algeo. Algeo lands a knee. Nice knee. Algeo's gone for the takedown. He's not going to get the guillotine. Is Algeo underhooked by Algeo? I'd like to see Algeo get a high underhook and reverse his position, and he did. Carlo's looking the worst for wear, but he's hanging in there. He's got a big heart, does Carlo. Carlo's going to push him up against the cage. Does he have enough to get a takedown? He does not. Double underhooks by Algeo, breaks off. Carlo keeps coming forward. There's 2 minutes, 26 seconds to go. Carlyle in the southpaw position and Algeo in the orthodox position. Nice kick to the body on the break by Algeo. Another takedown attempt by Carlyle. Carlyle's fighting all the way down to the wire. He gets the takedown. I don't know if it's going to be enough for Carlyle to win. Even if he holds him down, my opinion. This is just my opinion. I am not judging the fight though. But I don't know. I think Algeo is going to be able to get up from this position. So he's got one hook in, does Carlyle. He's trying to get this right over, but no, Algeo just seems to be better in that high parterre position. He seems to have a little bit better wrestling and a little bit better at getting up from and reversing the positions. I'd like to see him use here, like nice. There's the elbow, and Carlyle's still going for it. But it's hard from here. It's 1 minute 25 seconds to go. Another double leg attempt by Carlyle. So he still has a lot left in the tank, does Carlyle. Very, very fit guy. You cannot understand how hard it is to shoot and reshoot in MMA and not get the shots. It's different if you get the takedown, but if you don't get the takedown, the other guy's basically defending for free. And you're just gassing and gassing and gassing. Elbow after elbow landed by Algeo. And Carlyle not being able to get the takedown and sustaining damage. Now he's pushed up against the cage. Algeo's got the underhooks. Carlyle's really breathing hard. Eats a left hook, left elbow actually. They trade front kicks. Algeo definitely looks fresher. Hit him with a jab and a left check hook on the entry, and now hits him with that check hook again. Carlyle has pushed him up against the cage. He's using a lot of strength. Deep underhook by Algeo saves him. Trip attempt by Carlyle. Man, these guys are fighting so hard. Good on them, man. They're doing such a great fight. They're fighting really, really, really hard, man. Fighting all the way to the wire. There's 17 seconds to go. I don't know that Carlyle's going to win this, from my opinion. Body lock by Algeo. Misses on the takedown attempt. There's 7 seconds to go. Hits Carlyle with a left elbow on the break. Carlyle hits him with a right body kick. And that's the wrap, guys. That's the fight. Love Izzy style. Do you think he could beat Yan, as I was saying before? Yes, I definitely think he can. I don't, under any situation, think that you can underestimate Yan, though. Yan is a very, very, very serious man, you know? Like, you can't... And I do think that he's awkward, and he hits very hard, and he's got, like, heavy shots that he can hit you, like, kind of on the head, and they're thudding and they're heavy shots. And people, I think, underestimate that. He's not pretty. Izzy is very pretty. He's able to move, hit people flush. He's very, Izzy is a sniper. He's very good at that. Jan is not that. Jan's a destroyer. I'd favor Izzy. That's my opinion. Also, what do you think is the most exciting fight for Peter Yan in the bantamweight division other than Sterling? I love the Sandhagen fight. Man, I think Sterling, Sandhagen, Sterling, I think they're both grapplers that have good stand up or improved stand up. But Jan's stand up is high level, man. It's a national level in Russia, that's no joke. That's really, really serious, That's when he draws you into that boxing game. Very hard to beat. I kind of feel like Glover should get in there with Jan first. Maybe. I don't know. Well, if we miss the Tyson Jones fight, we miss it. Did my best, but I have to do this one. MMA is my thing. So Nate Robinson lost. Okay. Coach Trevor Whitman has developed, designed MMA-specific equipment on Sports. Have you seen any of his equipment? Do you have an opinion on the gloves the UFC supplies fighters they're fighting with now? Look, I don't know too much about. I know that Trevor Whitman does that. I know that he does that type of stuff. I think he's a very smart guy. I think that there's a lot of coaches and a lot of fighters that would have a lot of input into what the best gloves and that are for MMA and whatnot. I do think that the gloves that they have now, your hands are like this, whereas the Pride gloves, they were more curved, and I think they lead more to eye pokes. I do think that they're good gloves. I mean, overall, they're good gloves, but I don't think that they're the best gloves for MMA. I like them having, and also I feel that just the way that they're made doesn't seem to protect the hand the best. I think there's a lot of breaks in the glove, whereas it's not one like concave glove that will protect the hand and also get the fingers out of the other fighter's eyes. The UFC gloves seem a little bit too. They leave the hands a little bit vulnerable to get hit. Like when they hit with the hands, can break the hands quite easily. That's my opinion on it. On the gloves. They're good gloves, but I like the Pride ones more, and I think concave gloves are a little bit better. Yes, I do think that the fight game is a different beast. Yeah, I do think that the gloves, they could be a little bit better. It's a shame. I wanted to see that fight, but I never thought of Nate Robinson as a boxer. You know what I mean? Yeah. How was it a very bad KO? Blasey and Ray, you are right. He does have a weird style, and out of nowhere, he just explodes. With a lot of strength, a lot of power from weird angles, and he's able to hit you without a big wind up, without too much, at a weird angle, enough to hurt you. So it's, I don't know, but I don't know that it's enough. That it's enough to catch someone like Izzy. Very bad coach, very, very bad. Man, it's a different animal, man. Like I don't even like seeing these celebrity fights and that people don't. There's a lot of things like that I don't like, man, because it's people don't get like fighting is. It's no joke, man. It's real. Like I don't think it's something you should do for fun. That's me. That's my opinion, but I'm a pussy. That's me. I'd love to. Yeah, I don't know. Are they? If the walkouts aren't happening, hopefully we can see. I would have liked to have seen those fights. I would have liked to have been able to call those fights if I had the time to do both. For me, it said that the fights were going to start at 5 or 6 p.m. my time. And obviously they're not starting then, they're starting a lot later. So yeah. Can you let me know, Coach, your take on this YouTube and other sports athletes jumping in the fight game? Is it a disrespect to the sport for them to think that it's easy? I think it's a sport kind of disrespecting themselves, But look, they're getting eyes onto the sport that otherwise wouldn't be on the sport. That's one part. But the other thing, I think, like, I wouldn't me, Fab, even if I had 10 million YouTube followers, even if I had a billion YouTube followers, I wouldn't be able to play in the NBA. You know what I mean? It's just there's just a level to it. And I think, like, but in fairness, this is more like a gala day. Like Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. are not the Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. of old. I'm sure if this fight had happened, I don't know, 20 years ago, like, Jake Paul wouldn't be on the undercard. No need. Grange TV. Sorry, I'm late, brother. It's been a pretty boring Sunday. Mate, all I'm waiting for is the southerly to occur so it cools down. This guy, Parisian, that's about to fight, he was in the house when we were at the house. He fought Michel and lost. And Michel out wrestled him, but he's a big fellow too. He's had a lot of fights, a lot of experience. So I'm looking forward to seeing him fight and seeing where he's at. Yeah, I don't know. Is the if the Tyson fight, if the walkout's going to happen now, just let me know as well. I'm just interested to see if that's happening or not. Yeah, I don't know if it's disrespectful to the sport. I think this. I don't like it personally. Me, I don't like it. I like to see real fights, but I don't know if it's disrespectful to the sport. In as much as why are they allowing it to happen to begin with? I don't know. That's my take on it. Yeah, I'm interested to see how Parisian does in MMA now. He's had a lot of fight experience, and yeah, he's Father Time at Luke's channel. Who is a Chinese guy? Oh, um, great fight. The whole card has been quality. Crazy fight. Okay. Evan Smith's heart is a perfect example. It takes a different type of courage to step in the cage. That's why I cringe when non-fighters talk bad about fighters. Yeah, 1,000%. Like, she took a lot of damage, man. She just kept coming. Um, Bobby Saget honestly almost cried when Ongla lost on the same night as Martin, although he was doing so well up until the KO. Martin was doing really, really well. It was I messaged with Ongla after that fight, and he said, like, that fight almost got cancelled a bunch of times, and he didn't know if he was going to be fighting up until just before the fight. The Chinese guy on the wall, that's Father Time. That's Eddie Wang. That's a guy who donated $100 for the clock that Hilo's got. White Wolf, hey Fab, speaking of weight, I weigh about 104 kilos. I haven't managed my weight while I have BMI of 28.7. Do you think I can make middleweight? Logic over anecdotal theory. I don't know, like, because you should, yeah, like, well, yes, you probably walk around at middleweight, dude. If you're that heavy, you probably walk around at about light heavyweight at least. You know what I mean? So yeah, you'd make, yes, yes, you would, yes, you would. Oh yeah, somebody asked, where was the thing that somebody asked? What do I think about Jeff Neal versus Wonderboy? It's hard. I'm always going to back Wonderboy in a what would probably be a stand up fight, or in just about anyone in MMA as well. The problem is, man, with strikers that have really good reflexes like Wonderboy, you only have to slow down just a millimeter, and you won't know, because it'll look good. Like, he'll look good on the pads, he'll look good everywhere, but it won't it won't translate to the fight. So it's hard. It's hard until you see him. I always got Wonder Boy. I always have Wonder Boy. I think he's got a lot of tools. It was like 58-0 in ring karate. Um, yeah, Wonder Boy's last fight was wild. Yeah, like, I just think, yeah, like if you slow down, those guys slow down just just a fucking tad, like they start getting caught with stuff that they would have got out of the way, before. So you can't really tell until later on. Um, I'm genuinely considering if someone can tell me when Tyson and that are walking out, I'm genuinely considering stopping this broadcast, going to the Tyson one, and then coming back if we have time. Can I have people's thoughts on that? So now the guys are getting Vaselined up. It's big fellas, man. I always forget how big heavyweights are until like you're right there with them. I might do that. I might jump off here. I just saw Robinson eat the canvas with his face while Snoop Dogg sang Christian Hymns. That was weird. That's like one of those dreams. I'm going to jump off here, guys, and go to the Tyson fight. I will be back. Do you think what you think is best, Coach? We got you back at the main event. All right. We got you back at the main event. Yeah, I'm just considering whether I should do that. All right, guys, I will be back.